Asclepias syriaca, commonly known as common milkweed, is a species of milkweed native to North America. It is well known for its milky sap, which contains toxic compounds called cardiac glycosides that can be harmful to some animals but are essential for the survival of monarch butterfly larvae as they feed on the leaves and absorb these toxins, making them unpalatable to predators.
The common milkweed plant has numerous ethnobotanical uses,
including edible, medicinal, and utilitarian applications. Let's start this video by examining the identifying characteristics of common milkweed. 1. Its habitat. Common milkweed can be found in a wide range of habitats, including fields, meadows, prairies, roadsides, and disturbed areas. 2. Its growth habit. It is a perennial herbaceous plant, meaning it lives for multiple years and has soft, green, non-woody stems. 3. Stems and leaves. The stems of common milkweed are usually erect, growing to a height of 3 to 6 feet, or 1 to 2 meters. The large leaves are oval-shaped and arranged oppositely on the stems, exhibiting decussate phyllotaxy, wherein the leaves are found in opposite pairs, but each successive pair grows at a 90-degree angle to the pair above and below it. They have a light green color and a slightly fuzzy texture, and the veins on leaves are quite prominent. 4. Flowers. The flowers of common milkweed are distinctive and attract pollinators like bees and butterflies. They are pink to purplish in color and arranged in rounded clusters called umbels. Each flower has 5 petals that form a crown-like shape with a central corona of fused structures that contain nectar. The flowering period is typically from late spring to midsummer, depending on the region. 5. Its fruits and seeds. After the flowers are pollinated, long narrow pods or follicles develop. These pods are initially green but turn brown and gray as they mature. When the pods are fully mature, they split open to release numerous seeds, each with a tuft of silky hairs, pappus, that aids in their wind dispersal. 6. Milky sap. One of the most defining characteristics of milkweeds is their milky sap, ergo their name. When you break a leaf or stem, or any part of the plant, a milky, latex-like sap will begin to flow out. Indeed, this sap was explored as a rubber alternative during World War II, although the synthetics eventually won out. 7. Similar species. While common milkweed has distinctive characteristics, it may be confused with other milkweed species, such as butterfly milkweed, or even the poisonous, though useful, dogbane species, which we've explored in another video, and which also exudes a white sap and has a similar look to milkweed. Pay close attention to the flower color, leaf shape, and venation, seed pods, and other defining characteristics to avoid confusion. Now let's get into the uses of common milkweed. Let's start with its sap. Tribes, including the Iroquois and Cherokee, use the sap as a dermatological aid, rubbing the white sap onto warts to remove them. The sap also has, and can be used, to alleviate bee stings and cuts. The silky milk-like sap in conjunction with Canada hawkweed sap has been used by some tribes to create a deer call to imitate the call of a hungry fawn, though admittedly, I've failed thus far in my attempts to recreate this. The sap stickiness can also be exploited as a fastening glue, similar in stickiness to a sticky note. Indeed, the Mahona tribe is reported to have used it to mount precious stones into necklaces, earrings, collars, and bracelets. The tender leaves, young to middle-aged green seed pods, sprouts, and flower tops can all be used, cooked up, as tasty greens and vegetables. The young shoots can be used like asparagus, and the young pods were traditionally paired with salt and vinegar, though care should be taken to harvest them while they are still firm to squeeze, otherwise you may end up with a fluffier meal than desired, though who doesn't like a fluffy meal? The taste, along with the rest of the plant, is similar to okra in flavor. The flowers. The fresh flowers make for a great alternative to broccoli or cauliflower for battering and frying, and even, dare I say, make an acceptable chicken wing substitute. The chicken of the woods mushrooms still excel above all others at this. One should note that once the flowers have opened, they do tend to get a bit buggy, so depending on your diet and tolerance to this, you may want to harvest prior to anthesis when the buds begin to open. The dried flowers and buds can be freshened in the wintertime and made into soup or used to help thicken a broth. The Chippewa tribe used the plant as an appetite stimulant, consuming it prior to a great feast where eating copious amounts was a priority. The outer rind or bark of the plant has also been used for its strong fibers, including using the fibers for thread materials and bowstrings, though I have found that dogbane and yucca are superior fiber plants to milkweed. The mature stalks were also chewed by young children and used for pop gun wadding. And lastly, Seed pod fluff. The seed pod fluff can be used as a cotton-like material and applied to wounds. It is also a useful material for catching sparks for starting friction fires. There are also thermal and buoyancy applications for the fluff. Indeed, it was used during World War II to stuff life jackets due to these properties, as well as its resistance to water. There are even companies today using this as a down alternative in sleeping bags and jackets. Many insects rely on this plant during the cold winter months, using the seed pod shell and the insulative fluff as thermally protective shelter from the elements. Remember, if you do end up harvesting this plant, make sure to assist in spreading it so that you and others, whether human or not, can enjoy this wonderful plant for the many years to come.